figured out well before a lot of other civilizations did. And then from just people figuring things out on their own and then transfer of information, people learned.
Yeah. Y'all think about it. You know how big space is? Like,
What?
you know how big space is?
Yeah, that shit trips me out because it's
Like,
ever expanding.
yeah, it's like it never ends.
You'll never live long enough to
explore
be
the
the
whole
generation
thing.
that gets to have that wealth of information of what everything is.
Yeah, like one thing I
But you
think
get to
about.
die knowing that we'll never know everything.
Yeah, one thing I think about most of the time is like, what if there's like not like another planet that has aliens on it, but what if there's another planet that has
with
like
people.
people on it?
There can't be just one planet like Earth.
That
Like that would be
Okay,
such a
well,
waste.
here's the thing that a lot of people who have theorized about potential life on other planets have said, and that's and the creatures that are on it are a creature of their own circumstance and their own environment.
yeah.
So because of the gravity here, right? Like it's 9.8 meters per second per second.
Yeah.
If you were to try to put billions of years of evolution onto a planet like, say, Jupiter, which has 50 pounds of gravitational pull
Yeah.
compared to 9.8, then,
Things are gonna.
they're going to look completely different.
Yeah, and things are gonna change.
They're forced to.
Yeah. They adapt to their habitats, like animals and stuff do.
Exactly, yeah.
You sit there, like, you ever think of what can actually be in like the ocean's water? Like,
Yeah, that one's fucky. So they say we've only discovered like 30% of the oceans are
yeah, 30%
water,
of
right?
like the water. We
So just the
fucking
Marianas Trench alone, like we've
oh
only
yeah.
had 20 people go down there. But if you count the people on the ISS, it's 50 to 100 plus people,
Yeah.
right? So less explored, less traveled to. No one truly knows what's completely down there. And every once in a while we get like weird shit that comes to the surface.
Yeah.
People think it's like monsters or aliens that have washed up onto the beach.
Do you guys ever think of like we explored more in space than we have the ocean's water, like the Earth's water.
Yeah, which I think is maybe down to like, the technology that we have available right now.
Yeah.
Because we can have a camera that looks thousands and thousands of kilometers out into space.
But we can't
but
have a
we
camera that
don't-
goes thousands and thousands
Yeah,
deep
because
in
of
the water.
the way currents go and how everything's
Well, the
happening, how
pressure,
you have
just the
Yeah,
pressure.
the air pressure and
fish,
everything.
you
Yeah.
got so many different things that are like incorporating of not being able to discover it.
Yeah. Like,
it's
what if there's
difficult.
actually like species down there that's like extinct that everyone thinks is extinct, but actually not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's been theorized. Like, oh, Megalodon just went down to the deep sea, evolved to.
Okay, maybe
deep
not a
ocean.
megalodon, but
Yeah, which is maybe a little irrational considering the size of that thing.
more
But
of like
it's not unfounded considering there are large sharks in the
they
deep
found
ocean.
large sharks,
You're
and there's
right, yeah.
guarantee a large shark that is at least
So,
related
all
to the
these-
megalodon at some
Mhm.
point.
a
There's
lot of
going to
these
be some
theories.
prehistoric thing.
Yeah, it definitely
Yeah.
has to be like what you
Well,
ever
we've
think
already
about
found
there's a
one.
giant squid or something?
Knowing that all of the fishes and stuff like that during the meteor shower mostly escaped down to the water, hence why
And
we
then
still have crocodiles.
yeah.
Because they were a prehistoric animal. Same with certain snakes.
Yeah.
Is just that because they were able to go into the water.
Yeah.
So the Taitaboa, that ended up being extinct because it's such a big snake that it wasn't able to just chill in the water.
Oh, we're changing maps, by the way.
Became like the anaconda and shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because things morph
So
into
everything
things.
evolves.
Yeah, like
But these
it
fishes
goes to
that
their
are
habitat.
down into the deep surface
Mhm.
aren't evolving. They're still prehistoric animals.
Yeah. They just
continuing
can't.
to
They
have
can't
babies
really.
because
Well,
they haven't
they've
adapted.
They
they've
can't.
Fish that we
evolved.
have above surface have all evolved and adapted, hence why they're able to stay above the surface. The fish that are below aren't used to the warmer water and the light. They're so used to
Well, and the lack of pressure and all that.
yeah, the
Yeah.
sub-zero temperatures and everything.
Well, and the other thing to keep in mind too when you're thinking about like evolution in the deep ocean, it's easy to think that they're not evolved, but if anything, they are hyper evolved and
Yeah.
hyper specialized
To
to
s-
their life
to
down there.
to like
So
adapt
like
down
the
there. Yeah.
anglerfish, right? You brought it
Mhm.
up the one night.
The anglerfish that has the light on it.
It's
Yeah. Anglerfish, it definitely hyper evolved to have that light because just because the ocean down like really deep is super dark, right? So it definitely has to have
like
something to see.
because no, it's not for vision, right? So that's a common misconception that people think about.
Isn't it for like baiting their fish into them?
Yeah, so a lot of the fish that have lights, if not all of the fish, it would be a waste of evolution to see down there
Yeah.
because nothing else can see. So why would you see, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
So, and it's already dark as fuck, and the things that can see can only see light. So if you're using light to see, you've just attracted everything else.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah. That
With
makes-
minimal benefit.
that
So
makes a
there's
lot of
one
sense.
fish that has lights and it looks like it's on their eyes and it's to be able to see.
Yeah.
But what people, and they thought that for a long time that it was to be able to see. And then they realized, oh wait, it doesn't really make sense from an evolutionary standpoint.
Yeah.
So like, it has to be for something else. And we're still studying that fish, or biologists are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure out what it is.
Definitely, yeah. That makes a lot more sense than just trying to see. Oh, new map. But yeah, what do you guys think the scariest fish would see like in the deep water?
If I were to guess which fish it would have been, like the scariest?
Like if you actually could like see down there and actually like, you know what I mean?
I don't really know.
I think
I don't
their
know if
fish are
I'd be
pretty
worried
fucking
about-
scary.
They're small.
Are they? Oh yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah, they're relatively small.
They're still kind of a scary looking fish though.
You know what's really fucked?
Yeah.
Speaking of anglerfish, how they make kids.
Probably like even a giant squid in there, low key. You ever think about that?
Well, there is a giant squid.
Yeah. But there's probably a giant squid in the ocean, you ever?
There is.
There is?
Yeah.
What is it scientifically discovered?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sperm whales eat it.
Oh. Yeah, that's probably like not that deep in the ocean if like sperm whales could live down there.
No, sperm whales are made for the deep ocean.
Yeah.
It's like, so you've got like open ocean, right?
Yep.
The very top layer.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you go down, and then there's another layer. I forget what the name of that one's called. But then the next layer is called the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
And the Twilight Zone has
All the-
relatively normal-looking animals that rely or that don't need a lot of light, if any at all.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are either very large animals or small animals that filter.
Yeah.
And then you've got basically like
The
the
deep- They just
deep
say the
sea.
deepest, yeah.
Yeah, and then you've got the ocean floor. And the ocean floor has like a lot of really weird creatures, bacteria. I'm sure if you like explored the ocean floor, it'd be littered with like a graveyard.
Bones. Yeah. You ever see the graveyard, like the skull graveyard in the SpongeBob movies?
Yeah,
I have a feeling
That's
it would look
probably
like
about
that.
accurate.
Yeah. Not as bad, but yeah, I think that would be about accurate.
Fuck.
You get past the first one, Kim?
Almost.
I'm at third. Second stage is pretty easy, actually. Oh, fuck, dude. But yeah, like
Fuck.
that's one thing. Like if there was one thing I want to see before like I die or something is what's actually like down in the deep sea.
Yeah.
Yo, how do you
I
get
recommend you
past
watch
this
those
little thing
documentaries.
after
That'll give
this?
you a kind of glimpse of what we know so far,
Yeah.
basically.
We know more about space
That
than we do about our
30%.
own water.
Yeah.
Bro, I literally can't. I get past the first little thing at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's the second thing that always slows me down.
Mm-hmm. I'm on my third stage. What if there's like not other, I guess you could say, people or aliens or anything? Just another species that lives in space.
Well, that would be aliens.
Well, yeah. Not all gonna be aliens.
Even bacteria.
Yeah, I guess
Like,
you're
if we
right.
found bacteria, that would be like alien life.
It would just be life.
Yeah, it's just life.
Can't you
Which is
Can't you
wild.
live on Mars?
It's scientifically plausible to do what the guy in The Martian did.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's why Elon Musk and all those guys are trying to, like, push people to go there.
I
Or
would
get
want
there
to go,
themselves.
but I wouldn't want to go.
Well, yeah, because
Well, it's a
if
one-way trip.
Yeah.
Earth ends up getting destroyed or anything,
You're
you
just
have to
gonna be up there.
evacuate,
Yeah.
go to Mars.
The moon is probably the best bet first, before Mars.
You know what
'Cause
I
Mars
mean?
is like a 9-month trip, right?
Hmm. And then isn't it like every something on certain planets is like a year here? Like, so every 5 minutes is like a year on Earth?
Nah. So, in Mars, it's different time, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like that drastically different.
Yeah. I was
It
just making
depends
something
on
up.
so like a year on Earth is one revolution around the sun.
Yeah.
A year on Mars would be whatever that one revolution is in Earth days.
Yeah.
So you have to measure days
Give me a
differently.
second. Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
I forgot it's Friday.
Like, I end up finding like something that's, guess you can say, bigger than the Earth itself. Like a planet. Like, what if we know there's like, you know how we apparently know all the planets?
We know most of the planets
Yeah,
in our
but
solar system.
but
Yeah.
what about if there's something like another planet that's like we don't know about? You know what I mean?
That would be pretty crazy, and they'd know because of the gravitational pull of planets, right?
Yeah.
Like, it would fuck with other things in our solar system.
Yeah. But like, yeah. It'd be cool.
I mean, probably be devastating for everything in our solar system.
Oh yeah, that would definitely fuck up everything.
Would you fuck?
I need another planet.
Well, like, have you ever heard the theory of Andromeda crashing into the Milky Way?
No.
So there's this theory that in like 5 billion some odd years, the Andromeda galaxy, which is traveling at a speed close to light speed towards Milky Way, will collide with the Milky Way and
Probably make a big
end the
S6 too.
universe.
Oh.
That's one way theory of how the universe will end. The other one is the inevitable heat death of the universe, which is when the sun dies and swallows up the planet,
Can't
and
wait.
then creates a black hole that is ever expanding and you know, envelops everything.
Sick.
Yeah.
We're all gonna die.
Well, I mean, that's like
okay.
5 billion years away, so you'll
Oh.
never live long enough to see it.
I'll create something so I can see it. I'll if I get stuck. But yeah, like, just sit there. It's weird just to sit there and think like about the universe. You know what I mean? Like, how big it is and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it really makes you think about how small everything really is.
Yeah. It really makes me
Have you
think
ever
how
heard the theory of entropy?
of what?
Entropy?
No.
It's probably a word you've heard before in like video games and shit.
Yeah.
entropy is the theory of chaos
Mhm.
coming to a rest. So basically, it goes that the universe at rest is chaos, and that's how it wants to be. And so, having living things
Yeah.
is the opposite of chaos, right?
Yeah.
So, we are organized beings. The planet is an organized series of elements and atoms and things
All
like
that
that.
shit. Yeah.
And then the universe, which is seeking entropy and chaos and
Wait, she's
just
still on level
everything to
2?
be back to its smallest atomic states, uh, is trying to pull everything apart, and that's why everything dies.
Yeah. Okay.
So the theory of entropy kind of explains why everything is finite.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Definitely
Mexico.
made it.
Oh, you want to know why avocados are able to be eaten?
Why?
Because so when dinosaurs were around, right? Avocados were around too. And
Yeah.
avocados had really, really, really big pits
Mhm.
and not a lot of fucking meat on them, right?
Mhm.
And that was because dinosaurs were so fucking big that they just didn't give a shit.
Probably just
And then when the
ate the damn
dinosaurs
pit.
died, yeah, exactly, and then they shot them out.
I'm on
So
3.
then when the dinosaurs died, no one wanted to eat the fucking avocado, right?
Yeah.
Like no animal would touch it because there was no food on it. So
Yeah.
having that really big pit wasn't worth it anymore, and it evolved to have a smaller pit. And then
Are you
it
guys on
had a
3?
lot of
Yeah.
flesh. And
I'm
that
on 3 as
flesh
well.
was then used by other large animals, like chimpanzees and shit, to be eaten, where they then would drop the seed.
Hmm.
Boom. Evolution, motherfucker.
I feel like you just made that up.
Cameron, I'm behind
Nope.
you.
Not at all. You can look that one up.
How do
Oh my
figs
God.
reproduce?
So figs, unlike
mad.
other plants,
Yeah.
they don't rely on, the pollen going out into the air.
Yeah.
They rely on hyper specialized wasps.
Oh.
They're called fig wasps. And fig wasps,
They're
the
probably a big ass
females,
wasp.
no, they're small.
Oh.
Relatively small.
Oh
Like,
shoot, the fuck's this
the
map?
wasps
Mhm.
basically
Ooh, this
find
map
a
looks
fig
sick.
and they bore their way in. And then
Okay.
the wasp, as it bores its way in, loses its wings. And then the female wasp lays its eggs and it dies. And then after a certain amount of time, don't know the exact amount, not a wasp expert, the babies hatch,
Mhm.
and the babies then eat their way out of the fig, and they grow their wings on the outside, and they fly away.
Wow.
Yep, so there's always a dead wasp on the inside of your fig.
Okay.
100% of the time.
Makes sense. Avocados from
Snakes have
Mexico.
legs.
Snakes do have legs.
Do they actually?
Certain snakes
What
have
the fuck?
Like
vestigial
little,
legs.
little tiny legs.
Vestigial. So, you know what the word vestigial means?
No.
It means it had a use, but then we evolved no use for it. And so it shrunk really small to the point where it's no longer needed, but the body just doesn't get rid of it.
Oh. Okay.
Example, you have what's called a vestigial tail. Your tailbone is literally a bone for a tail back when we were monkeys. Certain pythons actually have vestigial legs, much like humans have vestigial tails.
Are you guys still on 1?
And they have hip
Yeah.
bones. And now the use for those vestigial legs is for mating.
Oh. They mate with legs. What the fuck?
They use large pythons. It's easier to see on really, really large pythons. I'll show you on Gord the next time you come over.
Okay.
But large pythons have these legs, and they look almost like claws.
Okay.
And if you own like a reticulated python, they're large enough to where they can scratch you.
No, my.
Like a 20-foot python, you can always say, "My snake scratched me."
Oh.
Ah. And they'll be like, "Don't you mean it bit you?" And you'll be like, "No, it fucking scratched me. They have legs." And you can blow their mind with that one.
True. You guys actually
Damn,
believe
you
we
gotta, like,
evolved from monkeys?
zoom.
What's that?
Do you guys think we evolved from monkeys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. Kind of makes sense. Look why
mean-
we have hair.